batsman was Rodney Marsh, the left-hander, and he clips the ball away off his pads. And look at Bob Willis. What a magnificent catch. Must surely have been one of the finest catches in the history of Anglo-Australian cricket. And look at the joy on Peter Lever's face as he breaks through this Australian batting lineup. Marsh waits there as Lever comes in, and Willis dives away to the right. Now that really is the type of catch that wins a test match. Marsh out with the Australian total 32 for 3. Ian Chappell, the not-out batsman, on 11, and the new player coming in to join him was Ian Redpath, who had a terrible time against John Snow early in the innings. That ball almost cuts him in half, and look at Alan Knott, surprised that the ball hasn't taken the off stump as it goes through. This is a more confident Redpath. He's well behind this stroke and plays a perfect cover drive, ball flashing away through extra cover and into the gutter just near the Paddington Hill. John Snow again, and Redpath this time again in trouble. Look at this delivery that almost takes the off stump, and Alan Knott for an instant thought it had found the inside edge. Splendid bowling by John Snow to Ian Chappell now, who looks very, very confident and turns him away on the onside. 4 runs to Ian Chappell, and he was looking particularly good today until Bob Willis came on as a change bowler and bowled with great fire from the Paddington end. The ball getting through Chappell's defence as he tries to drive. A good delivery from Bob Willis, sneaking through Chappell's defence, and a very disappointed Australian captain. Look at this ball getting under the bat, takes the off stump, and Chappell looks back as he walks out. 66 for 4 when Ian Chappell was out. Redpath was on 18, and he moved on to 27 at lunch, with Walters making 8 and the Australian total 84 for 4. We joined play after lunch with a score at 94, with Redpath 30 and Snow, the bowler, bowling to Redpath from the Paddington end.
Oh, beautiful shot from Redpath. Will it be 4? Being chased by Willis, is going back for his second. No, it won't be 4. And Redpath coming back for his 3rd run. A beautiful shot from him. And a great return from Willis to Knott. So Redpath now 34, Walters 12, and it's 4 for 97. Well, anything pitched up to Redpath, he's laying into it. And looks like Snow's going to bowl round the wicket to Walters. And we have the field change, this 3rd man position coming up about 10 yards. That's Underwood. But Illingworth's not going to go to the gully position. He's still staying at mid-on. Snow to Walters. Oh, there's a good shot. Being chased by Underwood. Will he get to it? Will he get to it? No, he doesn't. 4 to Walters. Walters 16, and that's the 100 up for Australia. Australia 4 for 101. Walters really slammed that one, and Snow getting a bit of a hiding this over. And it'll be Underwood to resume from the southern end, bowling to Redpath. Redpath, beautiful shot. 2 runs here, I would think. Being chased by Willis. 2 is all they'll get. The run rate fairly brisk after the lunch. Redpath moving on to 36. Walters 16. 4 for 103. Underwood to Redpath. That one seemed to do something, judging by Redpath's reaction. Possibly that one might have turned just a fraction away from the batsman and did surprise Redpath. A single to Redpath. Good bit of filling by John Snow there. Well backed up at mid-off by Lever. So Redpath now 37, Walters 16, 4 for 104. That's 80 runs behind the England total with 6 wickets in hand. And it's Underwood bowling to Walters. appeal for run out as well. That was Fletcher at slip. So a let off for Walters. Walters with that single moving on to 17. And the total 4 for 105.
Walters now to face Underwood. Through the covers, good shot, that should be 4. No, well stopped. Beautifully stopped. They're taking a lucky, risky second, but they're through. A lever down at mid-off. It was a perfectly timed shot, and Lever's speed got across and reduced that from 4 to 2. Walters to 22, Redpath 41. Lever saving 2 runs that time. Underwood to Walters. And there's a couple more. This could be the 50 partnership coming up. They've taken the first, coming back for the second. They may go for 3 as D'Oliveira gets to it. They're coming back for the third. And that brings it up over the 50 partnership between these two. It should be in fairly fast time. Walters 25, Redpath 41, 4 for 118. Partnership of 52. Willis bowling to Redpath. And that's the first full stroke I think I can remember Redpath making since the lunch break. He's batted very well indeed, but he was well away from that one. That's a better shot. Straight past Snow. It's coming down towards the boundary. It mightn't be 4, but I think it'll beat Snow. It's slowing down though. Snow may just get to it. It's going to be close. And they take 3. Great return by Snow, but Redpath goes on to 45 to be top score for the match. Walters 25, 4 for 122. The difference now 62. England all out for 184. Willis to Walters. Straight back past the bowler. It won't be 4. It wasn't that well timed. They've taken 1 and coming back for their second. Walters 27, Redpath 45, 4 for 124. Fast scoring, 40 in 34 minutes since lunch. Willis to Walters. Where's that going? Out to Underwood. Is he going to catch it? He will. He's dropped it. A sitter. He's dropped a sitter. They've taken a single. Walters goes to 28. He took 1 pace forward. Both hands to the ball. It was the easiest of catches. There may have been some sun obstruction, the afternoon sun, but it couldn't be much easier an outfield catch than that one.
Well, what a place to drop it, right beneath the hill.
Willis to Redpath. Redpath on 47. And that should be more. It's out towards the third man. They've taken 1. Redpath looking for the second. He's coming. Redpath to 49. Redpath 49. Walters 32. 4 for 133. Redpath on 49. Yes, they're going this time. That's his 50. A great ovation for Redpath, who's 50 in 143 minutes. Walters facing Willis. Well, in the air, but safe. It's going down towards the boundary. They've taken 1. Luckhurst is getting to it. They're coming back for the second. And the return by Luckhurst is a good one, but Walters safely home. Walters throwing the bat and succeeding. He's 38. Redpath 50. 4 for 140. Change of field now. 1 slip in a gully. It's now a very defensive field because of the aggressive batting of these two. They're taking calculated risks, and it's coming off. Back past the bowler, good shot. That's the shot of the match. Down it comes past the bowler. It mightn't be 4. They've taken 2, and they're turning for 3. A wild return by Snow, but 3 more to Walters. He goes on to 41. Walters 41, Redpath 50, 4 for 143.
This is slowly but surely putting Australia into a fairly good position. If they can secure, or make, I should say, around about 320, 330 in this particular innings, Australia could quite easily force a win. What a magnificent bit of work by Knott then. That was incredible. How he got that ball to hit the stumps in that manner, I just don't know.
Walters down the wicket. And it was touch and go, wasn't it? I don't know. We weren't side on, but...
Looked very close, Frank.
I rather thought Knott might have beaten him.
Could be out stumped. Yes, Walters is out. Stumped Knott, bowled Underwood for 42. Australia 5 for 147.
Let's have a look at it again. Watch Walters leave his crease. And I think that ball also turned a little bit, which is perhaps an ominous sign for the side batting last on this pitch.
Greg Chappell facing Illingworth. Wide of Willis, that's a good shot, that one. It's coming down towards the boundary. It could be 4. It's slowing down, but I think it'll beat the fieldsman. It's slowing down. Will it get there? Yes, it does. Just ahead of Willis. 4 to Chappell. Chappell 8, Redpath 58. 5 for 160. Underwood, this time to Redpath. Caught and bowled. Well bowled by Underwood. Redpath caught and bowled by Underwood for 59. Chappell is not out 9. That's Greg Chappell. Australia 6 for 162. Underwood has 2 for 30. And the new batsman should be O'Keefe.
Well, this is the second time that Redpath's been out in this way. The second time that Redpath has chased down the wicket after Underwood in this series and been caught and bowled. And it's a great tribute to Underwood's control of flight. He's been beat in the air, such a consummate player of slow spin bowling as Ian Redpath. Redpath, of course, loves to get down the wicket.
And it's Underwood bowling to Chappell, who plays a beautiful shot. This could be 4. Yes, it's certainly 4, all right. He hit that one really hard. A delightful shot from Greg Chappell. He's now 17. Australia 6 for 174, just 10 runs behind the England first innings total. Underwood to bowl the last ball of this over to Chappell. Well, it's a good hit. That'll be 4 runs. Going into the fence on the 4th bounce in front of the hill. So Chappell 21. O'Keefe 3, 6 for 178, and it'll be Illingworth to bowl to O'Keefe. That was a medium pacer that Illingworth bowled then, a little sort of an outswinger type of delivery. He doesn't bowl it very often. There's a catch. Yes, he's out. O'Keefe out. Caught not. Bowled Illingworth for 3. Australia 7 for 178.
Illingworth got that ball to move in towards O'Keefe just a little bit, and O'Keefe trying to force it away off the back foot, wasn't quite behind it, and Alan Knott made no mistake. What a great series that wicket-keeper's had. Jenner and Greg Chappell took the score along past the England total of 184. Greg Chappell, the last of the recognised Australian batsmen in the side, and shortly after the new ball was taken, and this led to a most unfortunate incident in the history of Anglo-Australian cricket. Jenner, the batsman, and into that bouncer, and the ball goes away to extra cover. It went a long, long way. Jenner is on the ground, and Illingworth is with him, and the batsman looks to be in a bad way. Now, that wasn't John Snow's fault. The ball was short, it was a legitimate bouncer, and it cut in towards Jenner. He tried to get out of the road of it, as was quite right. You can see here as the ball cuts in, slanted from wide on the crease, and Jenner now helped off the field by 3 of the England players, Bob Willis carrying his bat. And Snow already has been warned by umpire Rowan for intimidation under law 46. Now look at Illingworth, the England captain. In this case, I'm a backer of Illingworth's, but he was behaving not like an England captain, but more like the prima donna of a South American football side, arguing with the referee. Just look at the finger pointing now. And away he goes. He stalks away in a fury, and Snow, on the left of umpire Rowan, takes the crowd's boos. They're not quite sure what they're booing at the moment. They don't quite understand what's gone on out there, but they're preparing to throw beer cans later on. The last ball of that over is to Dennis Lillee, and it's quite quick. Look at that take by Alan Knott. 1 or 2 arms went up, but there was no snick. And look at the snatch from John Snow as he grabs his sun hat from umpire Rowan, and now asks the crowd to keep in time with their chanting. John Snow going away towards the Paddington Hill end. The players take drinks now. A break in the anger of the crowd, and Snow comes in to join them on Illingworth's gesture. He's called Snow in, away from the Paddington Hill, and now he's calling the other players up. They wait there now, Illingworth calling again to Snow, and some of the cans, the first of the cans, are being thrown onto the ground at the Paddington Hill end. The groundsman, one of the groundsmen, comes around to help pick them up and to try and get the game started again while the England players are sitting on the ground, and Snow comes down to say hello to some of the fans at the Paddington end. Now look at this. One of the drunken ones grabs him, tries to assault him now, pulls him into the fence, and Snow tries to pull away. The spectator is pulled away by his friends, and Snow goes away, followed by beer cans that are being thrown at him. Now he stands there, and Bob Willis, the new boy on the side, comes over to try and protect one of the old stagers in the team as the groundsman goes around trying to pick up these cans that are being thrown at Snow. Illingworth comes on, kicks one of them away, and pulls Snow away and asks him to go back to the centre of the ground. Willis stays there, taking the brunt of the crowd's anger, and Snow joins him now, standing some yards behind, as Illingworth gestures to the team to leave the field. Whilst I was critical of Illingworth's actions with umpire Rowan, I was all in favour of him taking his side off the field and letting things cool down for a few minutes. Certainly the game couldn't possibly have gone on while the cans and the bottles were on the ground at the Paddington end, and while they were on the ground at the Hill end just below the scoreboard. The umpires followed suit. They went off the field, and the only ones left on the ground were Dennis Lillee and Greg Chappell, hoping for a quick resumption so Australia could win the game. An announcement from the Secretary of the Border Control said that there would be no further play until the ground was cleared, both of spectators, given a helping hand here by the constabulary, and bottles and cans, which were picked up some by spectators and some by the ground staff. The England players came out again, led by Illingworth, this time to a mixture of hoots from the Hill and a lot of applause from the members' stand and from the Brawangal stand away on the right. Illingworth turns and gestures to Bob Willis to go down to fine leg, and he wants John Snow to stay in front of the members' stand, protecting his fast bowler from the shouts of the crowd. 7 for 235 at the close of play. Greg Chappell played splendidly for 62, Lillee 6, and manager David Clark must have been most unhappy about the incidents.
Of course, you're always unhappy about incidents. They are not rarely part of cricket, are they?
Can you tell us the sequence, the way things happened? It started off with Terry Jenner being hit by John Snow, but then after that we were watching, but we weren't listening.
I don't think there was anything that one could listen to. I think you could see anything. I wasn't listening because I haven't got long enough ears. But it was quite clear that Rowan cautioned Snow under the persistent short ball ruling, Law 46, and passed that warning on, again, quite rightly, under the sequence of events in these things, to both Ray Illingworth and to Tom Brooks, the other umpire.
Illingworth then appeared to remonstrate with umpire Rowan over something, presumably the warning.
He may well have done this.
Right, well, I think it probably shows on the film that he does, but we'll pass on to the next thing, which was when the umpires went into the dressing room. What brought the players back on the field again?
Exactly. Ray and I both said to the umpires when they came in the dressing room that just as soon as the ground was clear and the spectators had been given a warning that play would commence only when the spectators stopped throwing missiles at the fieldsmen, then the England team would go back onto the ground straight away.
Which they did after the assurance was given by the Board of Control Secretary or by the umpires?
I think by both. Mr. Barnes came to the dressing room and he undertook to do this. I didn't hear it done, but I presume it was done.
There was an announcement made. And what about the team reaction, David? They seemed to play pretty tightly and pretty well from that point on. I take it they were a little bit incensed over proceedings?
I think that Englishmen are slightly stubborn creatures, and if things perhaps have irked them or things have gone a little that way, they tend to react in that manner. You should know.
David, thank you very much indeed. It's a lovely understatement. The game then nicely poised for tomorrow with Australia having this 51-run lead, but needing to press on. I think they need a lead of something around about 130 or 170 if they're to have any chance of winning this game. Ian Chappell gave England first use of the pitch. It's turning already. Illingworth spun the ball today. Underwood bowled very, very well, and I don't think the Australians are far enough ahead at the moment, knowing that they have to bat last. The one thing I am sure of is that tomorrow, the Sunday of this game, will provide some more of the most fascinating cricket I've watched in years. Australia began the third day of the final test match, 51 runs ahead of England and still with 3 wickets in hand. Greg Chappell and Dennis Lillee, the not-out batsmen. Australia needed runs from this pair. Greg Chappell had to take command of the England bowling while the tail-enders stayed with him. England, for their part, well, they just wanted wickets as quickly as possible. In fact, they got the wicket very quickly, right from the first ball of the day, with Dennis Lillee getting an outside edge to Alan Knott. The first ball to fall, a sensation with the first delivery of the day. Dennis Lillee, the man out, and a very, very pleased Bob Willis and very pleased England players. Nowhere near the ball there, Dennis Lillee. And Alan Knott with a safe pair of hands coming across. Now Terry Jenner, the new man coming in, hit by a snow bumper yesterday and coming in now to join Greg Chappell, who is on 62 with the Australian total 235 for 8. Bob Willis again is the bowler, this time to Greg Chappell, and there goes the leg bail. Greg Chappell again out. That ball clipping the leg bail as it did in the 4th test match in Sydney when he was bowled around his legs again by John Snow. Willis this time, and Greg Chappell going right across his crease, not covering the ball at all. A fault in technique there that Greg Chappell will certainly have to eradicate. 239 for 9. Chappell out for 62. Jenner on 8. And Tony Dell, the new batsman, coming in to face John Snow. Jenner, the batsman here, and cutting away over the top of slips. A risky stroke, but the third man was unsighted, and the ball went to the boundary. Jenner again. And this time he slashes away over point. Another uppy stroke, but clear of the fieldsman and across to the point boundary. Jenner was playing very well at this stage, staging a great fight back for Australia, and a very good performance by the young fellow who was hit. This time it's Peter Lever, and he lofts him straight down the ground. A spirited stroke, and one that brings him 4 runs, the pursuing fieldsman Willis unable to get near the ball. 4 runs from umpire Brooks, and Lever again now, and this time it's a hot chance to Peter Lever, the persevering right-hander, unable to hold it and looking terribly disappointed, but he had his revenge almost immediately when Jenner, hitting across the ball, made no contact at all, and the Australian innings ended. This was a fine aggressive knock from Terry Jenner, coming in after being injured by John Snow yesterday, and in fact it could have been a match-winning innings for Australia. 30 runs to Terry Jenner, and Dell remaining not out 3, 264 all out the total, giving Australia a lead of 80. The start of the England second innings, with Luckhurst and Edridge, the two men coming out, Boycott injured and taking no part in the game, and this makeshift pair coming out to start England's second innings, having been dismissed for 184 in their first, and now having the deficit of 80. Dell is the bowler, and Luckhurst is on a pair.
Off the pair very quickly with 4 runs to the boundary. Outside the off stump and hit very well indeed, flying across the outfield into the fence for 4. England no wicket for 4, Luckhurst 4. And more runs, steered well between the short legs. That's Eastwood chasing. They've taken 1, coming back for the second, and they'll make 2 comfortably. Luckhurst to 6. Edridge yet to face a ball. This is only the first over. England no wicket for 6. Facing a deficit of 80 runs. Australia all out 264. England 184. Last ball of the over, Dell to Luckhurst. And more runs. That could be at least 3. Eastwood a long chase. They've taken the second. Edridge is just about to turn for 3. They'll make 3, and they're going through for an easy 3, so that makes it 9 off the first over. Luckhurst taking 9 runs off the first over from Dell. Edridge missing out on the strike again because Luckhurst goes to the far end to face the next over, but a very bright start indeed. None for 9. The interesting comparison about run scoring is that in the first hour of England's first innings, they scored 11 runs off 13 overs. Now, Luckhurst has taken 9 runs off the first over, so I imagine he's got a good chance of getting ahead of that 11 runs in a very slow period on the first morning. And more runs. That's a good shot again. It's going out to square the wicket out towards the point boundary. It's Jenner who fields, and that equals the 11. That's 11 runs in about 6 minutes compared to 11 runs in 60 in the first innings. Lilly to Luckhurst. And could be 4 more. Down to the boundary it goes. I don't think Dell's got no hope of that one. And Luckhurst goes up to 15. Luckhurst 15, none for 15.
Dell to Luckhurst. More runs here. They've taken it past Eastwood at short backward square. He's coming back for his second run. So that's 2 to Luckhurst. Takes him on to 18, and that is the England total. There's Walters, and he's going to bowl the start of this over to Luckhurst. Oh, beautiful shot from Luckhurst. This could be 4. He timed that one really beautifully. It's flying into the fence there. That's a beautiful shot from Luckhurst. Oh, he's now 25, Edridge 3. England no wicket for 30. Well, they're in no trouble at all at the moment, the England openers, particularly Luckhurst. He seems to time the ball with no apparent effort. Lilly to bowl to Luckhurst. Could be 2 or 3 in this, being chased by Walters. Walters very fast after that one as Luckhurst comes back for his second, and 2 is all they'll get. A beautiful return by Walters. Walters, a magnificent fieldsman in that cover area. More runs. There could be 3, might even be 4. He's coming back for his second run. Ball being chased by Chappell, and Luckhurst coming back for his third now as Chappell's return comes back to Keeper Marsh. That's good cricket. So Luckhurst now 31, playing really well at the moment. Edridge 4. England no wicket for 38, the end of Lilly's 4th over, and he has, there you see, no wicket for 15.
Good one from Walters. And Luckhurst, is he praying? That one went inside his bat. That's the back of his feet, between the feet and the stumps, and just rolled away to the return crease on this side. Where's that going? Out towards the boundary. The third man won't get that. Into the fence for 4. Luckhurst 37, Edridge 8, none for 48.
Luckhurst at the moment is stroking the ball absolutely beautifully, and Edridge is looking absolutely impregnable.
And Dell bowls to Edridge. Runs here, probably 2. They've taken 1. Jenner coming round and go back for the second. Yes, they're going, so the Misfield made it an easy 2. I think the 2 was there anyway. Edridge on to 10, Luckhurst 52, or Luckhurst 38, none for 52. So Edridge 10, Luckhurst 38, none for 52. So they've passed their scoring in the whole pre-lunch session on the first day. And out it goes towards the boundary. Perfectly hit shot. It's right out there for 4. I don't think Jenner will get to it. It's just slowing down a little bit at the end, but it's 4 runs all the way. So at lunch on the third day, England batting in the second innings, no wicket for 60. They face a deficit of 80. They need 20 more to get back on the right side of the ledger. None for 60 at lunch. Luckhurst on 40. Edridge 16 with 4 sundries.
O'Keefe to Luckhurst. Oh, beautiful shot. Straight past point for 4. He timed that one magnificently. Luckhurst has the ability to be able to really time the ball and hit it hard into the fence with no apparent effort. So he's now 47, completely dominating this partnership of 68 so far. Another 4, is it? Yes, it's a beautiful shot through the covers for 4. That's his 50. Luckhurst 50 coming up in 81 minutes. O'Keefe to Luckhurst. That's a beautiful shot. 4 runs. Timed that sweetly. Luckhurst now 55. Edridge 19. England just 2 short of wiping off the deficit. No wicket for 78. This has been a delightful innings from Luckhurst, playing shots mainly square, but at the same time there have been some beautiful shots in front of the wicket. O'Keefe's last ball to Luckhurst of this over. Missed chance by Chappell at slip. Appeared to go straight to him. We'll soon find out with the umpire's signal. Yes, it's a chance. Bad luck for O'Keefe, and 2 runs to Luckhurst takes him on to 57. Edridge is 19, and England no wicket for 80. They've now, their innings, we might say, virtually commences.
Now this time the sweep shot coming off a fine edge down to the boundary. That should be off the bat, I'd say. We'll wait for the umpire's call. Yes, 4 runs signalled. Edridge not really getting onto it, but getting 4 for it. Edridge 25, Luckhurst 58, none for 87.
Yes, if he'd hit that, he probably wouldn't have got as many runs for it, because Eastwood is down at deep square leg, just behind square, and possibly would have cut that off. But the underneath edge that Edridge put on the bat meant the ball went far too fine for Eastwood.
O'Keefe to Edridge. Attempted sweep again. O'Keefe to Edridge. And through the covers, it's a long chase for Dell. It was a full toss, a bad ball from O'Keefe. They've taken 2, and they're coming back for 3. Dell's throw from way out on the boundary to the bowler's end. This is a fairly loose over from O'Keefe in contrast, well, not so much in contrast. The last one was a maiden with a couple of loose ones in it, but even more in this over. O'Keefe to Luckhurst. A sweep, and it's under the ball as Lilly. Will he catch it? He's out. England has lost the first wicket. Luckhurst caught Lilly, bowled O'Keefe for 59.
It's not the first time Brian Luckhurst has been out sweeping on this tour. And you can see Lilly positioning himself beautifully there and taking the ball just on his left-hand side. Luckhurst played a splendid innings. This was just what England needed at the start of their second innings to wipe off that 80-run deficit. He gets a lot of applause, not only from the crowd, but from the Australian players as he leaves the ground at 94 for 1, with Fletcher, the incoming batsman, to join John Edridge, who is batting extremely well. There was rather a slow session of play from then on, with O'Keefe and Jenner tying the batsman down, although the pair never looked in any great danger. Then, in an inspired move, Australian captain Ian Chappell called on part-time spinner Ken Eastwood to bowl to Keith Fletcher just before tea. It's a full toss, and Keith Stackpole swoops on the ball. A good catch, low down, bootlace height, and look at Kenny Eastwood. He was brought into the side as an opening batsman, and here he is playing a great part in Australia's bowling attack. Fletcher not quite getting over the ball, aiming to hit it away through mid-wicket, and England losing a vital wicket just before tea, with Edridge remaining 47 not out and Hampshire the new batsman. We join play with Edridge needing just 2 for his 50.
Jenner's last ball of this over, and it could be 4 runs. That's a beautiful shot, and Edridge is 50. Edridge 53. England 2 for 138. Jenner now no wicket for 15. That being his 8th over. And Eastwood continuing to bowl to Hampshire. There's 4 runs through the covers off the back foot. A good shot from Hampshire. Hampshire now 6. Edridge 53. England 2 for 142. England leading now by 62 runs. And Eastwood's beating outside the off stump, and in fact there's a hill for caught behind as well with the last ball of his delivery. That was a wrong one. Hampshire obviously didn't pick it. So it looks like Eastwood might get another over. Eastwood now 1 for 10. Hampshire 6, Edridge 53, 2 for 142. And it's Hampshire the batsman. He'll be waiting for O'Keefe. Full toss, could be 4. No, a brilliant bit of fielding there by Dell. Just flung himself to the right, stopped what appeared to be a certain 4 down to 2 runs. The hole 6 feet 6 and 16 stone really hit that ground then. So Hampshire now 8 and the total 2 for 145. O'Keefe to Hampshire. Another full toss, and it could be 4 this time. There's a nice shot from Hampshire, full toss, and O'Keefe paying the penalty. In fact, probably if it hadn't have been hit quite as hard, O'Keefe might have been in a position to catch that one. It came back past O'Keefe on the full. So Hampshire 12, Edridge 54, 2 for 149. Oh, beautiful shot. It could beat Chappell into the fence before. Will he get to it? No, he doesn't. Or does he? No, it's 4 runs. It was a great try by Chappell then. At times that sort of fielding can be quite dangerous, however. So it's 4 to Hampshire, takes him on to 17. England now 2 for 154. Well, they've taken one. Well, they can't. Yes, they're coming back for their second. Jenner, the fieldsman. One of the few shots that Edrich doesn't hit in the middle of the bat, it appears. He got rather a thickish outside edge to that one. So he's now 57 and it's 2 for 158. We have a field change. Stackpole coming across from leg slip to backward point. And Jenner coming around to cover point. Wasn't a chance on the first bounce to Redpath.
Could be out. Yes, he's out. Edrich is out. Port Chappell bowled O'Keefe for 57. England 3 for 158. A very good catch by Chappell at first slip.
Well, that was indeed a great blow for Australia. Let's have a look at it again. It seemed to be the O'Keefe delivery that went straight on. It was his top spinner, and Edrich was playing for the off spinner to the left-hander. And Chappell just grasping it there at the second attempt. Well, I thought those two facial studies were quite a contrast. There was Edrich's, who was looking as though he'd lost a $5 note and found sixpence. And then there was Chappell, who was absolutely elated with that dismissal.
And it'll be O'Keefe. He'll be bowling to Hampshire. That's a good shot. It's into the fence for 4 on the first bounce. That was O'Keefe's off break, and Hampshire went to that one very quickly. For 1 second I lost it in the crowd, but eventually saw it go into the fence on the first bounce. So a nice shot to Hampshire, takes him on to 24. England 3 for 165. Hampshire, an attacking type of player, likes to play his shots. And O'Keefe top spinner, and Hampshire hurrying his defensive shot. Redpath, the fieldsman, in close there. The other fieldsman at leg slip is Stackpole. What a thrilling test match this has been. We've had 3 days now of action. Wickets falling and some good batting. This one's gone in the air, and he's out caught. What a brilliant catch by Chappell. Hampshire out. Port Chappell bowled O'Keefe for 24. England 4 for 165. An absolutely brilliant catch.
That was absolutely incredible. And a person could make so much land, so much ground to that catch and take it at full length. I would say that Chappell ran about 10, 15 yards and dived. Let's have a look at it again. Hampshire going to sweep. The ball obviously a leg spinner. Hampshire going for the sweep. Up it goes in there. Look at this. Look at the ground he's making. Ray Illingworth, the incoming batsman.
O'Keefe, 17 overs, 7 maidens, 3 for 55.
Jenner to Illingworth. Between the slips, it wasn't a catch. They're coming down. Chase for Ian Chappell. They've taken one, coming back for 2. A dangerous second run out's on here. He's not out. A dangerous second run and a beautiful return from Ian Chappell. Illingworth just home. Illingworth 2, D'Oliveira 1, 4 for 167. Jenner bowling to Illingworth. Could be a chance. Well, Marsh threw himself. Now let's work out how far away from the wicket he is. He must be 8 paces from the wicket. Australians performing like supermen on the field. That's the end of the over for Jenner. 10 overs, 2 maidens done for 20, 2 runs off the over. Well, almost a run out, almost a catch.
Well, that was an amazing effort on the part of Rodney Marsh. He's a very nimble person for such a big bloke. Let's watch this. Off he goes, and it's a goal, I'm afraid.
From this end, O'Keefe to D'Oliveira. And runs, yes, down towards the boundary it goes. Ian Chappell may not get to this. It's flying across the outfield. I think it should be 4. It's slowing down, and the ball will just win. 4 to D'Oliveira. He goes to 5. Illingworth 2. 4 for 171. More runs. That mightn't be 4. Lilly may get to this one. It's slowing down slightly. The ball travelling pretty well across the outfield. They've taken 2, turning for 3. D'Oliveira moves on to 8. Illingworth 2. 4 for 174. $30,000 appeals.
But only one decision, not out.
O'Keefe to Illingworth. And he gets a run. It's going between the short legs. Eastwood fielding. Illingworth to 3. D'Oliveira 8. 4 for 175. This is O'Keefe's 19th over. Jenner's bowled 11, so the spinners, the 2 main spinners, O'Keefe and Jenner, will have bowled 30 overs out of 54, much more than half. And also Eastwood, who could be regarded as a spin bowler, bowled about 4 overs. And that's the same story of the first innings. The 2 spinners bowled 40 overs between them. Oh, well played. That's 4, I'd say, all the way. A shorter ball coming up to an inviting height, and D'Oliveira made no mistake. Through the covers, then a good shot. Walters may just get to this one. He's very fast, Walters. They've taken 2. They're thinking about 3. Now let's see if they go, because this throw could be a run out again, but the throw's a bit wide. Well wide, in fact. 3 more to the score. D'Oliveira 15. Illingworth 3, 4 for 182. So England have moved past the 100 mark as regards the lead. They were 80 behind exactly on the first innings. Jenner ready to bowl, waiting for Chappell to move the field round. It's all in place now. Very attacking field. And that was a hit very well through the covers. 4 runs to Illingworth. Ball wide of the off stump. He moved right over the top of it and beat the field easily. Perfect timing into the fence for 4. Illingworth 7, D'Oliveira 16, 4 for 187. Jenner to Illingworth, last ball of the over. And where's that gone? Let's see what happens. I think that may be buys. It's going down to the boundary. And if it hits the sideboard or goes under the sideboard, it becomes 4. So let's see what happens. That would be... Well, it didn't hit the sideboard, so it may be runs. So 3 runs and buys are signalled, yes. There's also a law about sideboards, isn't there, Frank, or under the conditions there. If it hit the wheel of the sideboard, which it looked like doing, it would have been a boundary.
That is so, yes, yes.
But in that case, it wasn't. It hit, just veered away from the wheel. D'Oliveira 16, Illingworth 7. The total goes to 190 and sundries up to 7. That's through, yes, out towards the boundary it goes. Well-timed. Redpath may just get to it. I don't think so. Yes, he did. He just trod on the ball. Good work by him. And he saved 2 runs because they took 2 for the shot. And the total goes up to 192 and D'Oliveira's 18. Still for Illingworth. Jenner has the field of 2 slips and a leg slip. That's the man, Stackpole. The ball, I feel, coming off the pad. There was no reaction at all from the players, and that's always a good guide when the batsman is facing away from us. And that's through. A looser one outside the off stump, and I think it should be 4. Yes, all the way. Illingworth has played a couple of those. Those hit through the cover field off the back foot, timed them both perfectly, and that takes Illingworth on to 12, D'Oliveira 18. England 4 for 197. Stackpole to Illingworth. That's through, yes, a good shot, and they're chasing it. Redpath, they've taken one, coming back for the second. They won't go for three, I don't think. Let's watch the return. And there's a good throw. Look at that one. And that's the 200 up for England. England 4 for 200, Illingworth 15, D'Oliveira 18. And that means a lead of exactly 120. Australia 80 ahead on the first innings.
They stayed together till the close, with England 229 for 4, Illingworth 25, D'Oliveira 37, and the lead 149. Well, there hasn't been a better test match than this in Australia in the last 10 years, in my opinion. The pitch probably holds the key to the rest of the game. Still 3 days to go, with the one optional day left over at the end, and the pitch already allowing the spinners some turn. If I happen to be Australian captain Ian Chappell, I wouldn't like to chase more than 300 on this pitch on the last day and a half. I think it'll turn quite a bit for Derek Underwood and Ray Illingworth, and I reckon that round about the 300 mark is the target. Talking of Illingworth, he and D'Oliveira played spirited fighting innings today, and I think that he and Underwood might be the two men that Australia have to combat in the final moments of this game. England began the fourth day of the final test match at 229 for 4 with the not-out batsman Basil D'Oliveira and the skipper Ray Illingworth, who was inconvenienced by having a damaged knee struck by a fast bowler on the Sunday of the match. Illingworth, from his point of view, wanted runs and plenty of them. He was trying to set Australia a target in the vicinity of 300, but unfortunately from England's point of view, it just wasn't to be. In fact, in only the third over of the morning, they lost their first wicket, with Illingworth not playing a stroke to Dennis Lillee. And look at the jubilation there on the young Australian fast bowler's face. He comes down to receive the congratulations, and what an extraordinary dismissal that was. Illingworth just shuffling into his stumps, and the ball thuds into his pads, and a very disappointed England captain walks out after making 29. The score at that stage was 234 for 5, and Alan Knott was the next batsman coming in to join Basil D'Oliveira. But worse was to follow for England, for D'Oliveira, almost immediately afterwards, played a very loose-looking stroke for Ian Chappell to take a splendid catch at first slip, diving away to his right. That's the third good catch Chappell's taken in this innings, and D'Oliveira is nowhere near the line there as he snicks to the Australian captain. D'Oliveira was out for 47. The England total at that stage was 251 for 6, with Tony Dell, the big Queenslander, coming in to bowl from the Randwick end to the England wicketkeeper Alan Knott. Dell bowled very well in this spell from the Randwick end, and Knott was never anywhere near the line there, trying to force the ball away on the offside, getting an inside edge and the ball coming back to off stump. It was a sad blow for England, and Alan Knott had batted pretty well up to that stage. He was out for 15. The score was 276 for 7, and Peter Lever, the Lancashire and England fast bowler, came out to join John Snow, with Terry Jenner, the bowler, from the Paddington end. Redpath, diving away to his left, takes a catch two hands, holding it up in the end one-handed, after Peter Lever had batted splendidly before lunch with some lusty blows for England. Redpath, the man, taking one of those catches that wins matches for a Test cricket team. Lever made 17 runs. The total was 298 for 8, and Underwood was the man coming out to face Tony Dell. Rodney Marsh, the Australian wicketkeeper, takes a good catch diving away to his right. Underwood had just been hit on the fingers before this delivery and played rather a tentative stroke for his dismissal. He failed to get off the mark, and Bob Willis, the lanky Surrey fast bowler, was the last man in for England. John Snow is his partner on 19, and he faces Tony Dell, bowling again from the Randwick end. The fieldsman taking the catch here from a loose-looking stroke is Keith Stackpole, who just before had dropped Snow in much the same position. Snow was never anywhere near the ball there, playing off the back foot. England's second innings ended at 302, a lead of 222, setting Australia 223 for the retention of the Ashes. It never promised to be an easy task for the Australians, on a pitch giving some help to the bowlers. We joined play in the first over of Australia's second innings.
Snow bowling to Eastwood. Bowled in. Played right over the top, and Eastwood bowled Snow, no score. Australia 1 for none. He completely yorked himself, and Snow has staged a great breakthrough for Australia. Eastwood out for a duck. Here comes, well, the applause here. Let's bring in Frank Tyson again.
Well, of course, that was largely the result of Eastwood's liking for the leg side ball. Let's have a look at it again. He tries to turn it round on the leg side. And you saw how he was going to turn that down to fine leg. So Ian Chappell comes in his accustomed position at number 3, and he comes in to face the usual crisis.
Snow bowls to Ian Chappell. Last ball of the over. That's Hampshire. And a very impressive opening by John Snow. 1 for none. Snow to Stackpole. And cut, and it's going out towards the boundary. Lever's out there. They've taken 1, coming back for 2. Stackpole 3, Australia 1 for 3. Ian Chappell yet to score. And Stackpole is a man who might bat well under these conditions. He was dismissed cheaply in the first innings, but if the pitch is playing slowly, he's the type of player that Australia might need to get runs. Now, I'm very interested to see what happens if Snow bowls 1 short, whether Stackpole will hook. He has right through this series. And they go down to the boundary again. It's not a safe shot. They've taken 1. Coming back to the second again as Underwood comes right round from the fine leg boundary. That was cut off the bottom edge of the bat, missing his off stump, not by much, but 2 more runs to the score, and Stackpole goes to 5. Well, Stackpole again apparently is going to play his natural game. How long before the inevitable short one? There it goes, and it's in the air, and getting underneath it is nobody. Between Snow, or not rather, and Underwood. That was a really good bumper, that one. And Stackpole gets a single. He's 6, 1 for 6. That was pitched, I'd say, right over the top of the middle stump. Much more attacking field. Short forward leg, short backward leg, a mid-on. No man deep. Snow to Ian Chappell. And he's got runs, probably 1. Going back to the second, perhaps. Yes, they're taking 2 as Edridge fields. Chappell 2, Stackpole 6, 1 for 8. From the far end, Lever running into bowl to Stackpole. Where's that going? Is it a catch? Underneath it is Snow, and he may get it. It's over his head. It could be 6. That's a 6.
And Snow's injured himself.
Hurt his hand. Snow has hurt his hand. Now, let's see what happens here. Illingworth coming down to see Snow. He may have just got the ball leaning back over the fence. Now, Snow is leaving the field. Now, that could be the difference one way or the other. That's a matter of bad luck, I'd say, for England. Let's watch that again. We'll just have a look at that in a moment. But Snow is leaving the field.
In comes Lever. And you'll see Stackpole go for the hook underneath it, skying it high. Snow runs in expecting to get underneath it, but he has to go back again. And he's run into the fence with his hands, as you can see. And you saw him reel back from the fence, clutching his hand.
D'Oliveira bowling to Stackpole. That was a good ball. Seemed to move away in the air and cut back off the wicket. A very good delivery from D'Oliveira. A sharp single here to Stackpole. Fielded by Underwood, so Stackpole now 13, Ian Chappell 2, 1 for 16. D'Oliveira to Chappell. Could be 4.
being chased by Underwood. Chappell coming back for his second run, but it's flying into the fence. It actually gathered speed, and it's 4 runs to Ian Chappell. Takes him on to 6. Stackpole 13, 1 for 20. There's a pill for caught behind. Not out, says umpire Rowan. Chappell looking round, I'd say, indicates that, I should say, Stackpole looking round at the players, indicating that he didn't hit it. A sharp single, fielded by Luckhurst. So Stackpole 14, Ian Chappell 6, Australia 1 for 21.
Isn't it funny how the fortunes go? With Snow injuring that hand, it could have easily been his left hand, which probably would not have stopped him bowling. But of course, having badly cut his right hand, it does mean that flinging his right hand about, even though the hand was stitched, it would be absolutely impossible for him to bowl.
And it's Lever bowling to Ian Chappell. There's an appeal for caught behind, and he's out. Chappell is out. Caught not, bowled Lever for 6. Australia 2 for 22.
Well, the second time was lucky for Peter Lever. Chappell turning round to play chest on as he so often does, playing a little bit to the leg side, the ball moving away from him. And up it goes. And umpire Rowan had no hesitation, and Chappell had no hesitation in walking. Redpath, the incoming batsman. The problem that England now faces is quite simple. Can their bowlers swing this game without the help of John Snow?
Willis to Stackpole. And that's down through the mid-off area. Well timed. It's come racing out towards the boundary. It won't be 4. It's Luckhurst may just get to this. They've taken 2 and they're turning for 3. Stackpole 20, Redpath 1, 2 for 29. Stackpole on top of that one, but there's a man out there. Might beat him, might beat Underwood. It's going to be close. 4 runs. Oh, cheers for Stackpole. That was, I think, the best shot played. Well, at the moment, it's a very attacking field for Underwood. We have the slip and a gully. Backward point cover, mid-off and mid-on, mid-wicket, short forward leg, backward square. No outfield. There it goes. That's the shot way out and long on back, maybe 6. It's a tremendous hit. 6 runs. Well, that's the second 6 for Stackpole. That was a mighty shot. It was in no doubt. It cleared way over the fence into the member stand and fielded by a man in front of in a brown shirt in front of the member stand. It cleared the fence by 20 feet at least. Magnificent hit. And Stackpole, no effort at all, goes to 31, his second 6. That's through the field. Yes, they'll take probably 2 here. Lever's after it. And they come back for an easy second. Total to 44, Stackpole to 33, Redpath 3. This partnership now worth 22, and 22 is the average partnership approximately required by Australia. They want 223 to win. Underwood to Stackpole. And he played that off his stumps. That was a remarkable shot. He had plenty of time to do that. And Luckhurst is chasing. They've taken 2. Are they going for 3? I don't think they will. And they're going for the 3. Yes, they are. The return's in the air, and they've made it. Stackpole 36, Redpath 3, 2 for 47. And he attempted to hit that way over mid-wicket. The shot's on. There's nobody on the outfield at all. Stackpole playing a very intelligent innings. On the onside, we only have a square leg, a mid-wicket and a mid-on. So anything short, it's on for Stackpole if he wants to play the lofted shot into the wide open spaces. D'Oliveira to Stackpole. And there it goes. It's a no ball. Out to the boundary for 4 it goes. It's way sailing out there. Yes, into the fence on about the... Looked like to be about the first bounce. Lost sight of it for a moment in the air. But Stackpole to 40 and Australia's 50 coming up. Australia 2 for 51 and Stackpole 40 out of 51. That's Hampshire, or rather that's Shuttleworth, the substitute fieldsman for John Snow. Australia's 50 coming up in 78 minutes. And down a fine leg, it should be 4 again. Not a good shot, it came off the edge of the bat, but down to the boundary for 4, and Stackpole goes up to 44. Stackpole so far 3 4s and 2 6s.
Underwood to Redpath. Could be runs, yes. Being chased by Shuttleworth. Redpath coming back to his second run. It might even be 4. Shuttleworth flying after it. Will he get to it? Yes, he does, as Redpath comes back for his 3rd run. So 3 to Redpath, takes him on to 6. Stackpole 44. Australia 2 for 58. And the field changing for what will be the last ball before tea. Willis going out to long on. And Edridge coming back to mid-wicket. At tea, Australia 2 for 58. Redpath on 6, Stackpole 44. There are 2 sundries. Australia 2 for 58, needing 223 runs in this innings to retain the Ashes.
Illingworth bowling without an outfield, although I think if Stackpole gets the strike, somebody may drop back to long on, because Stackpole hit a magnificent 6 off the bowling of Underwood, almost into the top deck of the member stand. And it's through the field, nicely placed. It mightn't be 4. D'Oliveira's after it. They've taken 2. They should get 3, and they're turning now for the 3rd run. Redpath 11, Stackpole 45. Australia 2 for 64. And here's the general scatter with Stackpole on strike. We see D'Oliveira moves back to long on, and that's Willis with the white hat going back to deep square leg. Where's that going? It's out towards D'Oliveira, and he won't get to it. All wide of him. 4 runs to Stackpole. 2 men in the outfield, but Stackpole goes up to 49, and he has the confidence to play that ball, that stroke, the lofted drive, and he placed it between the 2 fieldsmen. Stackpole so far 4 4s and 2 6s. Edridge feeling that's the end of the over, and Illingworth's first over costing 7 runs. Willis to Redpath. And at least 1 here, possibly 2. D'Oliveira will cut this off. And he gets to it, and they come back for the 2nd run. Redpath on to 13, and that takes the total up to 70. Last ball of the over, Willis to Stackpole. And well, that was so close. to an outside edge, but a typical Stackpole stroke, not so much a typical stroke, but typical of his attitude. So Stackpole has to wait for the 50. He's lost the strike. That was the end of the over. Illingworth to Redpath. Underwood. There may be some tactical plan here by the Australian batsman for Redpath to hold up the end and allow Stackpole to do the scoring. At least it appears that way, with Redpath only 14 out of 49 in the partnership. Is he caught? Yes, he's out. Redpath caught Hampshire. A very good catch indeed. Bowled Illingworth for 14. Stackpole not out, 49. Australia 3 for 71. Illingworth has 1 for 7. And let's watch the replay coming up. Frank Tyson.
Turning round the corner, turns, and up it goes. And there's John Hampshire, a very good fieldsman in that particular position. Well, what an intriguing game now. It really is a thriller here at the Sydney Cricket Ground, with the fortunes swinging this way and that.
From the far end, Willis to Stackpole. And down to the third man, that's D'Oliveira, and that's the 50 to Stackpole. Stackpole, another great hand for Australia. Now for Walters, 3 slips in the gully. Third man, cover, mid-off. Only 1 fieldsman on the offside. Now there's 2, there's a fine leg. Walters receiving the perpetual bumper. He's got so many of those in this series. And he refuses to play the hook shot, apparently. He's even made statements that were to that effect in the press. And because of that, Illingworth can set almost entirely an offside field for him. Repeating that for England, John Snow is off the field with a badly lacerated right hand, probable fractured finger. What sort of a ball was that? So Walters gets a run. It was a slow full toss after 2 bumpers. I think it must have slipped out of Willis's hand. His intention, I think, was a change of pace after the 2 bumpers, but it gave Walters his first run. Walters won, Stackpole 50, 3 for 73. Willis to Stackpole. And Stackpole knows what to do. Where's it going? It's out towards the boundary. They've taken 1, coming back to the second. Wasn't well hit, but sufficient to get 2 runs. Quite safe on the onside. There are hardly any fieldsmen there at all. And Stackpole goes to 52. Walters won, 3 for 75. Australia now 1/3 of the way. The medical report on John Snow is a compound dislocation of the little finger of the right hand. It will cause an operation that will be performed tonight.
Yes, that's a very nasty injury. I believe that the fractured bone was sticking out of the little finger when he was taken away, so that just gives you an indication of how grave the injury was. Very painful indeed.
Willis to Stackpole. And that's one that Stackpole enjoys. It's going up towards the boundary. 4 runs. Stackpole 56. Walters won, 3 for 79. D'Oliveira had no more than 12, 15 yards to cover, and he had no hope. Willis to Stackpole. Another one, and it mightn't be 4 this time. It wasn't so firmly hit. They've taken 1, coming back to 2. The returns in the air. Well run. D'Oliveira's return from deep third, but Stackpole does that fairly well. He goes on to 60 now. Stackpole 60, 3 for 81. With 3 men out, Eastwood no score, Ian Chappell 6, Redpath 14.
And Gully now, in the person of John Edrich, has been put to square point to cut off that shot from Stackpole.
And placed just fine of Edrich to D'Oliveira for the single only, just steered down to the third man area. And Walters again hanging that bat out to dry. He's done that so often in this series, just the angled bat, no attempt at a stroke, and although he gets his body away from the ball, he leaves his bat there. Last ball of this over from Willis. Where's that going? Is it out to the boundary? Who's there?
Out.
Caught. Caught by D'Oliveira. Walters. Caught D'Oliveira. Bowled Willis for 1. Stackpole not out 59. Australia 4 for 82. Willis has 1 for 28. Let's see it again on the action replay. Frank Tyson.
Well, look at this shot. It isn't a very good shot, is it? Wide of the off stump, bouncing underneath it, up it goes, and D'Oliveira was right inside the boundary, right for that specific purpose. A very poor shot indeed from Doug Walters, I felt that. He was not over the top of it, he didn't hit it down, and the way Willis was bowling, I think that was an obvious trap for Walters, and he should have realized it. He's set a very good field, a ring of cover fieldsman, as you saw. He's got this mid-wicket there, Edrich, and a mid-on for the single. He's also got 2 men out for the lofted drive. A very intelligent field, I think. Ooh, that was very close indeed.
Must have been close. If anything, probably Frank might have missed the leg stump. It did spin, but it must have been close.
Oh.
That's 4 runs. What a beautifully timed shot from Stackpole. When he hits a 4, they really go into that fence very, very hard. As Stackpole now 63, quite incredible. He's 63 out of a total of 88. Lever bowling to Greg Chappell. Could be runs here, 2 or 3. Being chased by Underwood. Chappell coming back for his second and going back for his third. Willis, the fieldsman, in the finish, he came across from mid-off, so 3 to Chappell from a nice shot, takes him on to 6. Stackpole 64, 4 for 93. Quite a good crowd here today, being Tuesday. Crowd, we haven't got the official attendances yet, and there we have further additions to the crowd. I don't think they're very interested in the cricket at the moment. I can assure you I am. As Lever bowls to Stackpole, this will be his last ball. Could be runs. Taken 1. And it's Shuttleworth coming up from fine leg as Stackpole comes back for his second run. Stackpole now 66. Chappell is 6. Australia 4 for 95. The end of Lever's 8th over. 1 maiden, 1 for 18.
Illingworth to Stackpole. To Edrich. The official attendance 18,380. A very good attendance indeed for a midweek day. The first day's attendance was just over 10,000, so it gives you some idea that the interest created by this match. And appeal for court, and he's bowled. He's bowled. Well, that bowled him round his legs, so Stackpole is out. There's trouble for Australia. Stackpole bowled Underwood for 67. Greg Chappell not out 6. Australia 5 for 96. And Illingworth has 2 for 13.
And you can see here that Stackpole leaves that vital gap round about leg stump in trying to sweep Illingworth, and the ball just clipping the outside of the leg stump. And what a disappointed Keith Stackpole. No wonder he's slapping his bat on his pad. He could have won the game for Australia, and here he is, bowled round his legs by Ray Illingworth. 96 for 5, with Greg Chappell on 6 and Marsh, the new batsman, and this pair saw Australia through to stumps, though they could easily have lost another wicket. Illingworth is the bowler to Rodney Marsh. Down the track, and Alan Knott, of all people, missing a stumping. He's gone through the series without a blemish. Look at this. He must have been obscured by Rodney Marsh, and the ball hits his gloves and runs away down behind the keeper. At stumps, Chappell had made 19, Marsh 12, and with 5 wickets in hand, Australia still needed 100 for victory. This has been a controversial match, and the controversy still raged today with the news that the touring team executive had lodged a protest with the Australian board. The contentious point was umpire Rowan's action in warning John Snow after he felled Terry Jenner with a bumper on Sunday. In addition, there was conjecture that the 6-stack bowl hit off Lever struck the fence rather than cleared it, and therefore it would have only been 4, a difference of 2 vital runs. Well, what a cliffhanger this is. A great test match. It's been a great test match all the way through, and tomorrow it promises to be a wonderful finish. Australia needing just that 100 runs with 5 wickets in hand, and they're by no means in the box seat because the last 2 recognised batsmen are in. Greg Chappell, who has already made a century in this series, and Rodney Marsh, who's made 90 in the Melbourne Test. They don't have a very easy task because Illingworth, to his credit, is bowling superbly at the moment. The Englishmen are fielding well, and it is a very tough situation out there with a lot of pressure being applied. All credit to Illingworth. He's fighting for his cricketing life here. The vultures are out for him after the incidents the other day, and I think he's done a superb job since that moment when he led his side off the field and came under such fire. He bowled very, very well to take those 2 wickets, and he is the danger man for Australia tomorrow, and it will be a wonderful thing for him if he can lead England to an Ashes victory after all this time. The 5th day's play of the final test match at the Sydney Cricket Ground began in perfect conditions, with Australia needing 100 runs for victory and still with 5 wickets in hand. The not-out batsmen overnight were Greg Chappell and Rodney Marsh, and they set about their task slowly and sensibly this morning, and in the 3rd over of the day they'd reduced the deficit to 97 runs. We join play now with Ray Illingworth bowling to Greg Chappell.
Fielded by Edrich. There you have a typical example of, people might say, why don't they get down the wicket to Illingworth and hit him? But there we saw Chappell coming down the wicket fairly quickly and still could not quite get to him. Appeared to be a quicker one and didn't spin that much. Probably Illingworth trying to bowl it a bit straighter.
It kept a little bit low too, I thought.
That's a good shot. Beautiful shot from Greg Chappell. Being chased by Underwood. I don't think it'll reach the fence, will it? Underwood after it. He stopped it just inside. A good bit of fielding by Underwood as Chappell came back for his 3rd run. A beautiful shot off the back foot. And indicated to you there the slowness of the outfield as a result of this overnight rain. So Chappell moves on to 22. Marsh is 15, 5 for 129. It's a single to Marsh and a single only. Lever doing a good bit of fielding out there at deep backward square. A nice return from Lever too. He bowls his returns in, doesn't very rarely throws. Illingworth, Chappell. That one really did turn. It beat Chappell and hit him on the pad. And the last ball of Illingworth's over to Greg Chappell. This is good bowling by Illingworth. The end of his 14th over, 5 maidens, 2 for 26. Australia 5 for 131.
I think Underwood is going to bowl over the wicket to the left-hander Marsh.
Hampshire going in front of square because already there are 2 fieldsmen behind square leg, and this is the maximum number allowed behind the square leg position. Underwood to Marsh. This sweep shot that he likes to play so much. Stackpole was out yesterday playing the sweep shot when he was bowled by Illingworth, hit his leg stump. Bowled him. Marsh hitting right across that one, and he is out bowled Underwood for 16. Australia 6 for 131.
And the relief is universal. You can see it. Let's have a look at that again and see how Marsh hits right across it and right over it. A quicker one from Underwood, I feel. And Marsh was hitting that one in the region of mid-wicket when the leg stump went over. Well, that really puts the ball very much in England's court now and makes the responsibility of Greg Chappell all the greater.
Illingworth to O'Keefe. Taking a single, and it's, yes, they're through. O'Keefe 1, Greg Chappell 22, 6 for 133, 90 to get. Illingworth bowls to Greg Chappell. And a single down to the deepish mid-on, that's Underwood. Chappell to 23, O'Keefe 1, 6 for 134. Last ball of the over to O'Keefe. And would there be no thought of a run with Chappell to take strike? That's Luckhurst fielding the end of the over. Illingworth 15 overs, 5 maidens, 2 for 28. The last over costing 2 runs. Underwood bowling to Greg Chappell. Down to D'Oliveira. Chappell looks to be batting pretty well. He's slowly gaining in momentum, just starting to play shots now. Supports are O'Keefe, Jenner, Lilly and Dell. Oh, good shot. Probably 3 here. Chase for Luckhurst, they've taken 2, and they might go for 3. They're going. Here's the return on the way. No. Back to the bowler's end, and Luckhurst looking to get Greg Chappell. 2 runs. Greg Chappell 25, O'Keefe 1, 6 for 137. Now this is the last ball of the over. Will Greg Chappell try and get the strike? Where's that going? It's over the head of the mid-offer. Well played. 4 runs. Chappell 29, O'Keefe 1, 6 for 141, and that takes it down to 82. And Greg Chappell, measured aggression.
This, of course, would be a great victory if England managed to pull it off, because they've been deprived of 2 of their stalwarts in batting and bowling in the persons of Boycott and John Snow.
And now it's Illingworth to O'Keefe. And a peel for leg before, no stroke offered by the batsman. a justified appeal, I'd say, even though there's some hoots from the crowd. There was no stroke offered. Probably the ball outside the leg stump, but even so. Illingworth to O'Keefe. Shuttleworth fielding at mid-off. He's the replacement man for John Snow. And again the appeal. Now, O'Keefe is running a definite risk there by not playing a stroke. There was no genuine attempt to play the ball. Now, even if that's pitched outside the off stump and was spin in to hit the wicket, he could be out-legged before wicket. So let's see what O'Keefe does this time. Illingworth bowling to O'Keefe. And that was in the air. It's safe. Fletcher dived for it. Now, let's watch the action replay. Let's watch the line of this ball. Well, it was on the stumps and looked to be spinning away sufficiently. He was well forward to probably beat the leg stump. Now, there was no stroke offered. It was pitched line to line. But O'Keefe's still there. Not a wise policy he's adopting. Let's watch Underwood now, bowling to Greg Chappell. Well, this pitch must be doing something. That's two we've seen go in the air in the last 3 or 4 balls. Underwood bowling from the southern end. Single. It's going right down to D'Oliveira, so they can get through for a single. Greg Chappell goes to 30. O'Keefe won 6 for 142. Now Illingworth to Greg Chappell. Hampshire. Stumped. He's out. Yes. Well bowled, Illingworth. Chappell stumped, not bowled. Illingworth 30. O'Keefe not out one. Australia 7 for 142, and Illingworth has 3 for 28. Well bowled. He picked Chappell's desire to come forward, and let's see the action replay of this very important dismissal, the end of Greg Chappell, and probably the end of Australia's hopes.
This is the straighter delivery that goes with the arm. It doesn't turn. And the jubilation in the English camp now is most pronounced because Chappell was the one bulwark that stood between England and victory.
Illingworth bowls to Jenner. Was near enough to a catch. And that's the last ball of Illingworth's over, a very effective over indeed. It was a maiden over, and he took the vital wicket of Greg Chappell. His full figures, 17 overs, 7 maidens, 3 for 28, and one wonders, looking at those figures, why Illingworth hasn't bowled many, many more overs in this series. Look at Fletcher. Right in close to O'Keefe. Underwood bowling. Take a single. Throw at the far end. And O'Keefe goes to 2. Jenner yet to score, 7 for 143. Still 80 to get. 223 appears a long way away. Illingworth to O'Keefe. Off the pad.
That one seemed to turn and lift.
And a run. Shot the stumps at the far end, and they're through for a single. O'Keefe to 3. Jenner no score, 7 for 144. And they're taking a single run-out chance on here, but a bad return. Lever's return was a shocker. There was a hesitation between the two batsmen. It was an easy run-out, particularly at this end, that Lever just ladled the ball back nowhere near the stumps. And that was a miss for England, that one. Jenner, well, it's his first run. Jenner 1, O'Keefe 3, 7 for 145. Now, D'Oliveira moving away from slip, and we have 3 men in the leg trap and no slip. Illingworth to O'Keefe. And beaten by the straighter one, it appeared to be, but Illingworth bowling very well indeed. And that's the end of the over.
Underwood to Jenner. Must have gone very close to bowling him. Probably hit his pad or his foot as it deflected to Fletcher at slip. But you can easily see who's on top in this match at the moment. So the end of Underwood's 11th over, 4 maidens, 1 for 24, 7 for 145. Runs are really at a premium at the moment. 7 for 145. We've seen only 22 runs scored this morning in just on 70 minutes play. Here's a good shot from O'Keefe, and that's going to be 4 runs. A good shot from O'Keefe. O'Keefe now 7. Australia 7 for 149. It roused the Australian crowd here a little bit, but there's a long way to go. We have another, what, 74 runs to go. Seems like 1,074. The last ball of Illingworth's over to O'Keefe. Here's another good shot. It's going to be 4 again. Good hitting by O'Keefe. And that's 150 up for Australia. 7 for 153. O'Keefe moving on to 11. O'Keefe well down the wicket. It's very hard to get an LBW decision when the left foot is well down the wicket, such as O'Keefe's was then. And the ball turning. Illingworth's last ball of this over to O'Keefe. Could be a single, yes. O'Keefe's taking a single. D'Oliveira doing the fielding at backward square. O'Keefe retaining the strike. He's now 12. Australia 7 for 154. And Illingworth's figures 20 overs, 7 maidens. So that's very, very good bowling indeed. And looks like a bowling change. It's going to be D'Oliveira to bowl from the southern end of the ground. Quite a surprising move, this. I would feel that D'Oliveira should hold no terrors for the Australian batsman at the moment. Where this remains to be seen, of course, but Underwood, I thought, was bowling very well indeed, and this is quite a surprising change. Hit O'Keefe on the knee. It came behind the pad. In other words, he plays right across the line, O'Keefe. His left foot goes right across towards the offside when he plays forward, and as a result, he can at times be hit on the knee in that fashion. A field change. We have second slip coming across to leg slip. D'Oliveira to O'Keefe.
Could be out caught. Yes, O'Keefe is out. Caught at backward square by Shuttleworth. Australia 8 for 154. O'Keefe out. Caught Shuttleworth, bowled D'Oliveira for 12. Australia 8 for 154.
Well, that was a case of where D'Oliveira simply pitched leg stump. O'Keefe's been playing slightly across the line all the time, even to the spinners, and he just scooped that straight up to the backward square leg position. Let's have a look at it again. Notice how O'Keefe puts his front pad right across the wicket. Hits the ball pretty well. Hits the ball pretty well, but straight there to the square leg position, and Shuttleworth did not even have to move. Well, at one stage there were visions of a good rear guard action on the part of O'Keefe, but now that has dissipated, and I don't really think that we can expect too many runs from Dennis Lillee, who is the incoming batsman. And of course, after Lillee there is only Dell. Jenner at the moment seems to be stuck very firmly on that single. He hasn't scored for quite a while.
So the surprise move by Illingworth was certainly successful, with D'Oliveira taking that wicket. We were wondering why this change was being made, but obviously Illingworth's plans succeeded. So Australia 8 for 154. It's just a matter of time now before the innings winds up and gives England a very good win indeed. They have thoroughly deserved to win this match. It's D'Oliveira bowling to Lillee. And he's out caught. Lillee staying there. Yes, he's out. Lillee not at all happy with that either, it appears. In fact, he's looking at the fieldsman as he goes out. That was quite surprising. He's not at all happy. But umpire Rowan had no hesitation in giving him out. In fact, Lillee turning round as he walks off. So that's quite surprising. We might be able to have a look at that one again in just a second. So Australia 9 for 154.
I just wonder what the doubt was there. Let's just have a look at it again and see what happened.
We couldn't see it really, Frank.
No, the body of the batsman obscured the ball. Certainly Lillee seemed a little bit upset, and there were a few words exchanged out there.
Hampshire seemed to be quite confident with that catch, though. He just threw it up in the air, and so Dell coming out on a hat-trick. D'Oliveira at the moment has the figures of 2 for 13. And here we are criticising, or not criticising, but wondering why Illingworth brought him on, and looks like he might get a hat-trick.
Yes, I think he might have been brought on because Underwood really wasn't turning the ball.
And it's D'Oliveira to Dell. Looking for a single. And Dell off the mark. He's won. Australia 9 for 155.
Underwood bowling to Dell. And he's caught, is he? Off the pad. Off the pad. Edrich, not really appealing. He played forward, missed the ball. It came inside the baton pad, flicked off the pad down to Edrich at slip. And Dell's looking for one, but Jenner won't run. And wisely so. Overthrows here, at least a couple of overthrows. They've taken one, and they're coming back for another one. D'Oliveira fielding. So Dell goes up to 3. Jenner 1, 9 for 157, and that was the end of the over. Underwood to Jenner. And a run down through the slip area. They're probably 2. That's Lever after it. They've taken 1, coming back for the second. Jenner moving to 4, Dell 3. 9 for 160. That's in the air, and it's off the pad, I'd say. I don't think there was any contact with the bat. Jenner facing Underwood. And that's it. Is it? Yes, he's out. That's the end of the match.
And 12 long years from the day Peter May's team lost on the Adelaide Oval, Ray Illingworth's side has triumphed in this magnificent Sydney Test. Illingworth, leading his men in splendid fashion, won the series 2-0, and he has a royal farewell from this great ground with his players cheering him off. For this tour, the England selectors, led by Alec Bedser, chose Illingworth as captain, and now for only the third time in 50 years, England have regained the Ashes in Australia. This must surely be the greatest moment of Ray Illingworth's cricketing life.